March 1958, Boise, Idaho. 3 decades earlier, on December 20, 1930, the Hotel Boise had opened to tremendous fanfare. The white Art Deco skyscraper was 10 stories high. The upper floors set back in wedding cake style. Its luxury, the Idaho statesman declared, was equal to that found in any great metropolitan hotel. All that day, thousands of Idahoans toured through, gaping at the Egyptian-style curlicues that topped the pillars and doorways, and at the elegant lobby which, according to hotel news, resembled nothing so much as the lounge of a French luxury liner. That evening, 500 leading citizens in evening attire, the ladies sparkling with jewels, attended a dinner dance in the Crystal Ballroom. Don Keith's Spanish Ballroom Orchestra had been brought up from Salt Lake City, and the event was broadcast on a San Francisco radio station. Now, on a March evening in 1958, the Hotel Boise is no longer in the headlines, though it's still the swank place in town. The Crystal Ballroom is still the largest in the city, and the hotel bar is the unofficial meeting place for the city's elite. During the legislative session, many of the lawmakers live in the hotel, walking back and forth to the Capitol a few blocks away. Boise goes to bed early, though, and by 10 p.m., activity in the hotel is winding down. At the cigar stand, just inside the grand entrance, a woman whose golden red hair is done up in a sleek roll closes out her cash register. It's Eva. She's 35, attractive and slim, several inches taller than average. Her tartan long is balanced on a silver ashtray as she restocks the gum and packs of cigarettes that have been sold since she came on shift at 3. Though she's working, she's attired as though for an elegant evening out, wearing one of the cinch-waist dresses in deep forest green that set off both her slim figure and her redhead's complexion. Her feet are long and thin, and she always wears open-toe, open-back, high heels. Besides being a classy looker, she's nice to everyone, merry and fun. She has a way of looking into your eyes as if the two of you are about to burst with some hilarious secret. As a result, she's popular around the hotel. The waitresses are always stopping by to yak, and the bellboys like to hang around the cigar stand, kidding about this and that. Their kidding, though, is just in fun, just to pass time between calls. Everyone knows she's married to Vick, the hotel's handsome new chef. The guests, of course, don't know about Vick, but Eva is wearing a diamond-studded wedding ring on her long, slender finger, and if anybody starts to get cute, she makes sure not only that they see the ring, but they realize they've been shown it. She's been married a year, almost exactly, and she is deeply, deeply in love. She's so in love that she's downright mushy. At every holiday, she gives Vick the gushiest greeting card she can find. Eva is lucky to have landed tall, good-looking Vick, the waitresses think. But she's a sweetheart, and she deserves it. Besides, she's had a tough time. Before Vick showed up, it was clear to the practiced female eye that under the merry exterior, she was lonely, even a little frightened. And no wonder, as anyone who goes to the movies is constantly reminded, being single in the 1950s is a terrifying experience. Motion pictures are full of pathetic, often desperate single women. By now, the jaunty career gals of earlier times are pretty much gone. In 1940, Rosalind Russell was a fast-talking reporter who just couldn't trade the newspaper game for a husband and a bunch of kids. But by 1955, Russell is playing a woman so terrified of becoming a spinster schoolteacher that swallowing tears and pride, She goes down on her knees, begging her reluctant gentleman friend to marry her. There's a good reason for this desperation, as the movies also show. Single women can be terrifyingly vulnerable, subject both to remarkable brutality and assumptions of criminality. Susan Hayward, for example, plays a young woman who likes to kick off her shoes and dance with sailors. Her only real crime is that she's too good of a pal to a couple of low-life guys. She gets the electric chair all the same, and just to underline the point of what can happen to a girl, the movie shows her being strapped in for execution. The restraints force her legs apart, and the newsmen jostle to get the best view. Even a demure good girl like Anne Baxter in Blue Gardenia loses her invisible shield of protection when her fiancé dumps her. Now she is fair game for a heartless womanizer when she tries to defend herself. She too ends up facing capital charge. No, it's terrible to be single, especially as you head onto the downhill side of your 30s. You may feel young and carefree, a recent magazine article warned unmarried women, but soon you'll be a middle-aged sad sack, and it'll be too late to get husband insurance. So, of course, everybody is so glad to see Eva settled and so happy. Since tonight is one of Vick's nights off, they can never get exactly the same schedule, though Eva has tried. She puts on her coat to walk the 5 blocks home. Before leaving, she visits the ladies' room to smooth her hair, touch up her lipstick, and powder. She wants to look good for her man who will be waiting up, reading one of his magazines. They'll sit and smoke, have a cup of coffee. They'll put Perry Como on the hi-fi. Neither of them has to be at work until 3 the next afternoon. One of the bellmen holds the door and Eva steps out onto 8th and Bangkok. The night is chilly, and she walks briskly along the nearly empty streets up to Jefferson, and then 4 blocks over to the little basement apartment that was Eva's before they got married and Vick moved in. It's small, just a bedroom, front room with 3 street-level windows, and a nook of a kitchen. Maybe they'll look around for a house eventually, but for now, it's cozy, the perfect little love nest. As Eva steps onto her block, she sees that the brand-new 58 Mercury she and Vick recently bought on time, dark blue over robin's egg, isn't in its usual place in front of the house. She tries to remember. Did he say something about taking it to the garage? She walks faster, clipping along the dark sidewalk, and she is glad when she sees the light shining from the apartment windows. She walks down the cement steps at the side of the house and taps on the door. She waits a minute. Then her toes, too cold to wait for the big lug to unfold himself from the couch, lets herself in with her key. It only takes a few seconds in the neat little apartment for Eva to see that though the lamps are on and everything looks perfectly normal, Vick is not there. She stands in the living room puzzled. She knows he likes to go out. Sometimes he gets antsy on his night off, but why didn't he pick her up after work and they could have gone somewhere? There aren't many places open this late in Boise, but there are a few. She goes to the phone to see if Vick has left a note on the pad or jotted something that would show what had come up, but nothing is there. She puts her hand on the phone, but that doesn't make it ring. Doesn't put Vick on the other end explaining where he is and why. She thinks of calling the different places that might be open this late, but doesn't want to come across as the nagging wife. Now she begins to worry that she may have already nagged a little. She's thinking how Vick had been a bit moody in the last few days, quiet, and how she worried he was getting sick. She was afraid it was something about the lung problem he had had for years. She'd urged him to see the doctor, but he hadn't wanted to, and hadn't wanted to talk about it. Stop asking him if he was okay, he'd finally said. Not mad, just telling her. And she had. But now she's worried. Could he be peeved that she tried to get him to go to the doctor? Tried to tell him what to do? Could he have just gone out alone to teach her not to nag? But he's never been peeved before, not even once. He's never done anything even the slightest bit thoughtless or inconsiderate. She goes into the bedroom again and stops still. The framed wedding pictures are gone from the dresser. After a moment, she steps to the closet and opens it to see her own collection of dark green and midnight blue dresses on the right. On the left is an empty space where Vick's slacks and jackets had hung. Back at the dresser, she opens the drawers that held his underwear and socks, the one where she put his shirts as they came packaged from the laundry. The drawers were empty. Her heart racing, she goes back to the closet. Vick's jackets and slacks are still not hanging on his side. All of those things are gone except for the soft green sweater she gave him for Christmas. It's on the closet shelf, folded neatly. There, too, is the shoebox where he keeps his check stubs and so forth. Also in the box are the greeting cards she has given him. She knows he kept them because she once peeked to see. Eva sits up smoking all night. She has no one she can call, not a living soul she can tell. For one thing, she can't bear for anyone to know. And anyway, she's sure that no one, none of their friends, would take it seriously. Everyone was always teasing them for being such lovebirds. "What, did you have a fight?" the girls would say. "Don't worry, he'll cool off. He's out driving around. He didn't just leave." But they hadn't had a fight. They never had a fight or even an argument. There had never been a night when they didn't sleep in each other's arms. She doesn't call her mother Grace, who still lives on the farm in the eastern Oregon mountain valley where Eva grew up. She can't bear for her mother to know that something terrible has happened. Again. Eva knows that she has put her mother through a lot since leaving the farm in 19...